Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ebube Godwin. I'm a permanent resident of Canada. I relocated to Canada in January 2023. And okay, so since I came to Canada, I've gotten lots of text messages, lots of chats, lots of my social media accounts, people asking me questions. How did you do it? Which route did you use? So here is it. I'm using this video to share my story. Please like, subscribe to my channel, share it to anyone that needs to know it. I'm going to share to you how I moved to Canada with permanent residency. I didn't have to pay school fees, I didn't have to pay any agent, I did it myself. And you can do it too, and many other people have done it. So sit tight, listen, and I will share the whole story. Okay, so in this video, from beginning to end, I'm going to share the steps I took to get my permanent residency to Canada. Okay, so back to the background. Before I relocated to Canada, I was interested, sometime after school, I wanted to travel, and just like many young people in my country, you want to go study abroad, maybe stay back, or you could come back, right? And that's what I see most people do. To relocate, they usually send application, go study in a good country, in a developed country, Europe, America, Canada, US, all these countries, go study there and maybe pay a lot of school fees. Sometimes they use immigration agents, sometimes they do it themselves and all that. That's how I know. So many times it costs a lot of money and all that. In my case, I didn't want to spend that, right? I wanted to know how I could get mine. So I started the search for study, right? That's what I knew. So I started searching for where I could study. I checked some schools in Europe. I checked some schools in US. US was funny. I was telling someone today, I saw $55,000 for a school fee. So I knew that was not for me, right? So if you could be listening to this video, you don't really have too much money to spend, but you want to relocate. So just listen to my story, and there will be other people. The way that worked for me, should work for you. It worked for many people, and many people have done it, but I want to make my YouTube channel to be kind of diverse, loaded. You're going to get other people with different experiences, of how they succeeded in their own movement. So this YouTube channel, I'm going to dedicate it to inspiring people, helping people, sharing success stories, not only about relocation, about other areas of life, about even after relocating, what do you do there? How do you get good jobs, And I'm going to also tell you mine. I'm a lawyer and I'm already in the legal sector, but that's not what it is. So let's go back to the story. Okay, permanent residency, right? So the route I used is express entry, and I'll shout out to my brother who shared this thing with me, that I could go to Canada as a permanent resident without having to use study visa and all that. So I got information. Information is very key in this process. Information is very, very important. Information is the difference between the person that succeeded and the person that did not. Right? After information, if you use it well, you succeed. Okay, so the pathway I used was what is called the express entry system under the federal skilled worker. Right, so what are the requirements in this, and what did I do? I did my research. I found out that I needed IELTS, I needed to do my English test, I needed work experience, and I needed to do educational credential assessments. Okay, so that's it. So the first thing you need in the process is to actually get these things ready. I'm going to call it gathering documents. You need to gather documents, right? And so I had to register for IELTS. You can use British Council. You can use IDP. Right, and I also hear right now that apart from IELTS, there is also what they call CELPIP. But what I use is IELTS. So you register for the test. I needed my international passport. Use it and book. I think when I did, it was just 64,000 naira. It should be more than 80 something thousand naira right now. So I booked for the test. one major thing, two major points I can give you for IELTS that is important is preparation. Preparation will help you. Preparation and confidence. Right? So I brought out some weeks before the test and adequately prepared. I'm going to post some links on some of the websites that helped me. You just need to prepare. Bring out time. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. You need good points. So don't rush it. Prepare well. Then confidence. A lot of people are scared about the English test, that they are concerned about not getting it. They've heard a lot of negative stories about the IELTS. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm a success story in that, and many people have succeeded in it, right? Just get your confidence on. It will amaze you that I got 9 in reading, I got 8.5 in listening, I got 7 in writing, and I got 7.5 in speaking. But this was my second attempt, right? I'm going to make another video, on some of the tips for success, right? So the point is, it was my second attempt. I didn't give up. I know people have written up to 3 times. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you eventually got what you needed. So to get good points in the system, in the express entry system, you need at least 8 in listening and 7 in the rest. But just to be eligible, I think 6 in each component, it's enough. So that's for IELTS. Then I needed to get my ECA, Educational Credential Assessment. You can use WES for it, WAS. You can use IQAS. I'm going to leave the links on the description. Get your transcripts from your university sent to these bodies, right? Then you just need to use one of them. For doctors and pharmacists, they have a special body that does their assessment for their degrees. So you start a portal, go to the website, create an account, you get a file number, then you request your university, your college, wherever you studied, to get your transcript across to them. You also need a copy of your degree certificate. You also need your passport. I think I should do a different video as well for how to do your WES assessment. So I got that. I got ECA, that's Educational Credential Assessment. Educational Credential Assessment, yeah, ECA. So you also need work experience. 1 year is the minimum, but if you get up to 3 years experience in the past 3 years, that will be very helpful. This is foreign work experience outside Canada. Okay, so just by the side, there are other things you can do to get more points in the system. That's not the focus for this video. That's why I say you need to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to show you some other things to do to get additional points, because this express entry system works by points. So every single component has points. Your IELTS has points. Your educational assessment has points. Your age has points. Everything has points, right? Everything has points allocated to it. So I'm going to do a video for how you can get extra points, in the system. So back to what I'm saying, you get your IELTS, you get your educational credential assessment, then you have your work experience. Make sure you have at least 1 year work experience, and that experience has to be under the National Occupational Classification. There's also something for people in the trades, but that's not for this video. This is for skilled worker. Okay, so I got all these things ready, and then I entered the express entry pool. Watch out, I'm also going to make a video on how to enter the express entry pool. It's from that pool. I entered that pool in December of the year that I joined, first week of December. And on December 11th, I don't forget that date, because that day was a special day for me. I got what is called the invitation to apply, ITA. It's on that day that people begin to celebrate, because you can't apply for express entry without being invited. That's the difference. You have to be invited to apply. So I got that invitation, and then I was very happy. So I went, gathered documents. At this point, you need to make sure you have proof of funds. At the time I submitted, I had the requirement was about 12,000 something, in Canadian dollar, right? And right now it should be up to 13,000 something in Canadian dollar for a single person, right? There is also proof of fund for a married person, that's 2 family members. Then if you have dependents, that's your children. There are also number of required funds to prove. So you need to get, I got reference letters from my employers. I got the proof of funds. I did my police certificate. I gathered all this, and then I submitted the application in February of the next year. Okay, so after submitting, they sent me, I went for medical test. After the medical test, it took a while. I'm going to talk about that later. It took a while before I got my passport request. Is in that passport request that you then send your passport over to the nearest visa office, and then they stamped the visa, single entry visa on my passport. He sent it back to me together with what is known as the COPR. That is the confirmation of permanent residency. So you are not supposed to sign that form. You use both your visa and the COPR to travel. So you can imagine, I was so excited that day. I was so excited, to get this. It worked after, and it took me some time. It's a story for another day. It took some time in the process. Right now, there is no longer issue. It takes very short time now. 4 months. I know people that get it in less than 6 months now. But my time it was more than 6 months. So I got it, and I was so excited. I boarded the flight. Got to Canada. I landed. I was asked, is this my first time? I said it was my first time. Then I went to the immigration section. I showed them my passport. I showed them the COPR. The immigration officer signed it, and then I signed my portion, and they said, I'm now a permanent resident of Canada. My friend that landed around the same time, he said that the moment the immigration officer told him, you are now a permanent resident of Canada, that her head expanded. Is a special day, So I was so happy. I gave them the address to send my PR card, and that's it. The process ends once you land Canada, and you are signing. From that date, you become a permanent resident of Canada. So that's my story in a brief. I rushed through it. But just subscribe to this channel, like it, share it. You're going to get more information. Please leave some comments. I want to see comments. I want to see questions. The questions I get will prompt me to know the next videos to make. So please like, subscribe, share this YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you.